Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny. And so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do.
Shut up, Porter! Hey, I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation.
Gators don't play no shit. You feel me?
This is The Divide.
All right, perfect. Welcome to the Divide with Mike and Corey. Special episode of The Divide. We took a couple weeks off, but we're coming back in a big way. We have a special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, the Todd father. Todd Frazier is joining us. Hi, Todd. Thank you so much for, after some technical difficulties, coming in here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we figured it out like always, man. Good to be here. Thank you.
Appreciate it. So for those of you that live under a rock and don't know, Todd Frazier is a Major League Baseball star, Olympic medalist, two-time MLB All-Star, Home Run Derby champ back in 2015, Little League World Series champ all the way back in 1998. Sorry to date you there, Todd. And amongst other things, let's get into the most recent. This has got to be an exciting time for you because backing up to the Little League World Series, that's happening right now. And your nephew is making headlines for the All-Star performance he's been having in the Little League World Series. And his game actually is tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, they got a game at 3 p.m. tomorrow for sure.
Nice. Got moved around for the weather a little bit. Now, I just want to ask, how is that for you watching him? It's got to bring up a lot of different emotions. And at the same time, how are you finding balance being a fan and a coach and an uncle and all that? How's all that working out right now?
It's a little difficult at times. Don't get me wrong. We're having a good time doing it. My wife is the backbone, of course. She's dominating with the kids, making sure they're eating right, doing all that stuff. But now that I have more downtime, I love being a coach. I love coaching my son, trying to get my daughter ready for gymnastics. And then my youngest is all over the place. So it's a lot of fun. I get to watch my nephew. I'm going to head up there in a couple hours, go watch him in Williamsport the next day, go trade some pins. And
oh, no.
Did we just lose him, Ty?
Well, we're live, folks, so that just happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where he went.
Maybe he had to go
here
quickly to the...
It was like so instantaneous too. It wasn't even like he broke up and left or nothing.
He said he had to leave in a couple hours.
Yeah,
so,
I know. He oh Jesus. Oh God.
He said he was willing to give us a few minutes, so that was a few minutes.
Yeah, that was more than I thought it would be. Well, let's hope he jumps back in here.
Yeah, or I'll send him a number if he'll message us back.
That's not an issue.
Well, look, well, like. For those tuning in right now, we just lost Todd. He'll rejoin hopefully, and we will go from there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's.
I'm trying to bring myself back on the screen to like at least have some kind of guest, but I am not I don't have an Olympic medal, and I've never played baseball past.
Well, that's not true. I've seen you play wiffle ball. I've seen you play ball at the Beer Olympics. Which is more than enough baseball we all need. Yeah. We were just on
cloud nine.
The very beginning, and then he just.
I was feeling it. It felt like it was about to.
I didn't even know.
Send him a quick message and just say if you need to.
Imagine if he's still calling.
He might still be talking. I do that all the time. Like I don't realize the other person hangs up, or I drove through a dead zone and I end up just talking. So as we wait for Todd to come back. Again, Little League World Series champ in 1998. The Little League World Series is currently happening right now. Tom's River, the Beast of the East, is back there. Hopefully, we'll make it a little bit further. That's set to wrap up by the end of this week or early next week for the actual World Series, the championship game. But Todd, he was on a couple different teams. He was on the Cincinnati Reds for most of his career. He had a short stint with the White Sox, the Yankees, the Mets. In Texas with the Rangers for a year, and then his last major league team he was on was Pittsburgh at the start of this year before he started training for the Olympics. He was just over in the Olympics where they took silver. They lost to Japan in a close 2-0 game for the gold. And on top of that, he's just an all-around good guy. Hometown hero, especially here in New Jersey, which is why we were so excited for this interview, because we just figured, it's a guy that he's the same age as us. So we literally watched him go through everything. Mike, I think, even played against him in high school.
Fall ball, yeah.
Or fall ball.
I'm sure it was very unmemorable for him, but yeah, we started traveling as you got older in Little League, and we got our butts kicked by the beast.
Yeah, well, he comes from a baseball family. It's like they eat, breathe, and sleep baseball. His older brother played in the majors. He's got another brother that I think went through minor league systems out in Oakland and whatnot. So it's definitely a love of the sport right there. So we'll see if we can get back with Todd momentarily. But let's talk some Mets and Yankees while we wait for that, because we never actually get this opportunity.
This is what's crazy, man. Like now, this scenario where the Mets, like we were talking about, hey, I'm going to be bringing you to a playoff game not even a month ago, right?
Yeah, well, the Yankees have been on a tear lately. They secured the number 1 wild card right now. If the season were to end right now, we have the wild card. That's not good enough for me. There's still a lot of baseball to play. But yeah, it's going to take a lot for the Yankees to come back to number 1 in their division. We just hope that we stay on par for the course and get back to where we need to be. Let's see.
He said
1 second.
Oh, he's moving to a
Oh,
desktop.
my God. What a nice guy.
What a really nice guy.
So let's go back. While he tries, Yankees are on a 9-game win streak. Their pitching is still so-so, in my opinion. However, I will say that their hitting has just completely been dominating. Luke Voit is now healthy and completely destroying any at-bat at the plate. Oh my God, I can't even think of his name. The shortstop, hometown hero right now, grew up in the Bronx. We just acquired him. Oh, he just hit his first home run. I'm drawing a blank. There's so much happening right now.
Parents were crying.
I would be too. It's when you grow up in a stone's throw from Yankee Stadium, and then you watch the Yankees growing up. You get to hit it. That must be. We got to ask Todd when he comes back. Must be how Todd felt when he crushed his first home run in Yankee Stadium. But if we continue in this direction, we'll definitely see playoff baseball at some capacity. Now, the Mets are a completely different story.
So I blame you.
I didn't do anything.
You wore blue and orange, and then we just tailspin.
I didn't do anything. First of all, that game, I got into more arguments, and it wasn't just with Philly fans, because the Mets have had such a good year. You guys have never, normally you start a year great, and then by the All-Star break, you die off, and then you lose hope, whatever, because you're so far out of it. You had a great year, a great run. All-Star break came and went, a couple of ups and downs, one bad week where you let Philly catch up a little bit, and we're at the Philly game for your birthday, Philly versus Mets. Darren's a little outing, the 7-line outing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say little. It was huge outing.
Yeah.
We occupied 3 full sections right in center field, so everybody knew we were there and they hated it. Gave up some late home runs, gained some late home runs in the ninth, top of the ninth. No, it was the eighth and ninth.
Yeah, back to back in the ninth.
Yeah, it was exciting, and you still got Met fans that were sitting down and what's over, this is stupid, just quit. I got into an argument with one Met fan because we're standing up trying to cheer for I forget what reliever was even on the mound, and they're sitting there telling you to sit down because the game's over.
Right.
It's just
it was tough.
It's frustrating.
It wasn't easy,
but it was still a fun time, even though it was a 3. No, it was more than that. What was the score? The final score of that game? You remember?
Whoa!
Oh, now we good? Maybe he's got himself on mute.
You're muted. Settings.
Okay.
Much better.
I don't know how it looked on your end, Todd. I hope it wasn't like when you're on the phone with someone and you don't realize they hang up on accident, or you.
No, you started talking and you're like, let's talk. And then it was all silent, and I came back and I finished the answer, and then I couldn't hear nothing. So.
Oh man. You were just wrapping up about chasing the kids around, excited to get them on their way to sports and all that other stuff, and what it's like balancing the coach parent, and then headed out to see your nephew in the Little League World Series, which has got to be great for your entire family. I mean, from what we know is your family is completely baseball oriented. It's absolute love of the game for you guys. So it's got to be a great time. I mean, you just came home from Japan, and now you dive right into the Little League World Series action. So it's had to be nonstop for you.
Yeah, and it's fun. And I think about my son Blake, who's 7, and he gets to experience this at such a young age. And I got to experience when I was 9, when my brother Jeff went in '95, and I'm like, wow. And I looked to my 2 buddies, Joey Franceschini and RJ Johansson, who we knew we were going to be on the All-Star team every year. Say, guys, this is where we want to be. This is Mecca. And now I get to show my son, who's 7, and now he's got dreams and goals to go to Williamsport. And we have, we might have a good opportunity. I'm definitely going to be coaching. I'm definitely excited for it. But yeah, my nephew Carson is doing pretty well. The highs and lows of me yelling at the TV screen and then getting excited. My wife is like, I don't know what your deal is. I'm like, listen, we do this in baseball too as well. We just try and we hide it a little better. So it is. It's a lot of fun, but it's like, God, that pitch looks so good. So now I'm starting to understand more like how you guys feel when you watch a baseball game on TV. Why didn't he hit that pitch? Or, what are you rolling over for? That kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier from where we sit and watch a game to where you've been when you're trying to face a pitcher at an at bat.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I want to dive right into your most recent experience in the Olympics and just ask. You have played on so many different stages, so to speak. The big show, of course, even things like the Little League World Series, even the Home Run Derby. That's this fun environment to where you're blasting music and you're just cranking them out of the park. What was it like on the Olympic stage? Because it's nothing you've ever experienced before until now.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, honestly, it was the culmination of my career. I mean, I always wanted to play the Olympics. You don't hear much about it just because we haven't been back there since 2008. And when the opportunity arose, Paul Seiler, the GM or, the acting CEO, hit me up, and I'm good friends with him. It was my 3rd time playing for a USA team in college and then in minor league ball. But he said, you're in. You're our number 1 pick. If you want in, I'm like, I'm in, because I had nobody was looking at me. It was already in February. And then eventually I had 2 teams looking at me, and I went with the Pirates. And I'm like, all right, I'm in the minor leagues. I'm ready to go. And then they called me up. I'm like, all right, well, this is what I want to do. I want to be in the big leagues. I'm trying to get to my 10 years. And next thing you know, they released me, and I'm like, oh, my God. Next hour, I got home. I got a call from Paul Seiler. You still ready? I said, you bet your ass I'm ready. And, we had to qualify first in Port St. Lucie, which you guys know all well about.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one of my best 5 games there, or, series. I think about it like 400, and I dominated it. And lo and behold, we go to the Olympics and almost came home with the gold medal. But, Japan was good. We give them credit, and it was a lot of fun.
I'll say that was such a good baseball game. It was frustrating to watch as a fan, of course, wanting you guys to get the gold, but what a good match. It had everything, pitching, the few hits that we allowed on both sides.
Yeah,
it was, and it came right down to the end. So it was a really good base. That's what we were saying. Yeah. We were up early in the morning watching it, and we're just texting each other like of anything else. It was a really exciting baseball game.
Both games against Japan were great games. I mean, speaking of that, there's a few things that differ in Japan, in Olympic play, right? Most importantly, the baseball, right?
Yes.
It actually has some stickiness to it, right?
Yes. It's a really good baseball, honestly. Japan, for some reason, they find a way to do some things right in the world. I mean, first off, it's the cleanest city I've ever been in. I saw the 18 days I was there, I saw one piece of napkin paper on the ground. I went to the store to buy some stuff. 40 minutes later, I'm out there. It's gone. Like and they had people working at the garbage can stations. 2 people. If I threw the wrong plastic bottle in the wrong spot, oh, no problem. Dig it out, put their face and hands in there. Got it. Put it in. Arigato. They said, thank you. I'm like, thank you. I messed up. So, but the balls have a nice sticky tack on them. It's not like, oh, you're like this. No, you don't feel nothing. It's a good grip of a ball, and I think Major League Baseball should start leaning towards that if they want to crack down on pitchers having stuff on their hands or their hat or their wherever. It's a really good baseball, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it for sure. I have a couple upstairs that I like showing people, and they're like, "Wow, it's smooth, it's not dry at all," and pitchers would love it.
Yeah. Do you foresee just, being in the MLB and from what you just said, do you see them having an open mind with something like that? Or is that just something that's just going to have to kind of gain notoriety over the years before they crack down and think about it?
I think they have to. I mean, they cracked down already on it, to be honest with you. I think there's no going back. Major League Baseball, they come up with these weird rules sometimes, and they try and be the top dog as usual. Oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, instead of worrying about a little more important things, about saving pitchers' arms and all that kind of stuff. But they're all in. They put their cards in, they're all in. I don't know if they have a pair of twos or ace king suited, but they need to figure it out really soon.
That's awesome. I also noticed like the amount of rosin that Japan used, but a lot of the other teams too, where it's like it's almost spraying off the ball as it's being thrown to you.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I complained to the umpire. So these guys, like say the rosin's in my hand, the guy he went 3 times and then 3 times. Big cloud of dust would come out. He didn't even wipe it off. So next, I struck out on 3 pitches and 1 at bat. Every time he threw it, a cloud of dust would come out.
Yep.
And I asked the one umpire from Canada, I said, there's got to be something done. It's a cloud of dust. He goes, there's nothing we can do. I said, because we bring our own rosin out. Right. There's a little cloud of dust, but it's more just for grip. And these guys were patting it. They're throwing 95 with their splitters are absolutely filthy pitches. And I can't pick it up. And I'm looking at myself. I'm like, this ain't me. This is crazy. I'm barking on him. I told Masahiro, I said, what are you guys doing? He goes, we use it all the time. I said, it's you guys are cheating, you sons of guns. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what they do in their country, and they got away with it. But what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah. It was bizarre to see, like, on TV. I was like, if I can see that, God can see that. It's ridiculous.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
it's like throwing through a cloud, and it's like, all right, there's 2 white substances. What are you going to? I should have just swung and hopefully got lucky on one of them, but I don't even think I swung at 1 pitch.
Also, like, it almost became like I thank God it was at 6 a.m. because if this was a drinking game, I probably would have died. But every time they talked about you and your leadership, and I know Frazier baseball is all about leadership. Look, you're already talking about coaching and how you could help the next generation.
Sure.
And you did that on this team. I mean, you're singing in the clubhouse. There's this video that USA Baseball did of you, and you're just like happy-go-lucky. Even boosting up you're the guy that should be motivating you, your managers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I know the answer, but
I mean, I don't know. It's just something for me where when I play and do things, I want to do them for one to the fullest. And I think about the future a lot. It's like, all right, I'm going to hopefully play 10 years in baseball, okay? And I want to have as much fun as possible, and I want to take it as serious as possible. So there's got to be that mix. There's the guys that you have that are overly serious. There's the guys that you have that are goofballs that need to be a little more serious, and vice versa. So I pick and choose the guys I mess with. I have a good time with it. And I don't know, it's just something that's grown upon me. My parents have always been happy-go-lucky. They've always showed me the rights and wrongs, and they actually let me figure out the rights and wrongs. And my dad always say, all right, well, why'd you do this? What was your decision? Maybe you could have done this. And I had 2 older brothers who boot me in the ass if I wasn't doing anything right. So I don't know. I just understood that I'm going to be playing this game for less than I'm going to be, living my real life out. So why not enjoy it, be a goofball, and have a few laughs? And if nobody likes it, I don't care. I had fun doing it. So that's that.
That's great. It was just fun to watch. I think watching your love or any player's love for the game and seeing them wear it on their sleeve like that is just as fun and even more enjoyable when we watch you play the actual game. So going to like the love of the game and you talking about different guys that should joke around and take things serious. I have to ask because, like I said before, you're an obvious. Your whole family is a fan of the game. I don't think you can have the last name Frazier in your parts and not be a fan of the game. But when you first made it and called up and you're in the majors, Todd, there had to have been a player that you played against where you were starstruck or just in awe. I have to ask, who was that player? You made it to the majors. You grew up watching this person. Who would you say that player would be?
The first guy that comes to mind is Albert Pujols. When he was with the Cardinals and I was playing third base, I'm like, if this guy tries and bunts, I will not even run and go get it. I said, you know what, take the single. So I'm playing way back. His batting practice was effortless. I mean, he had a mission every time he swung the ball. And he could hit the ball a mile there. And what's St. Louis Stadium called? Whatever.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Now it's going to be on the tip of my tongue, but yeah, it was such fun times watching him take BP and work his magic on the field, and I was in awe of him, and then Joey Votto too, especially since I hit behind him for a lot of the years, and his work ethic is probably number one or number two I've ever seen, before a game and during as well.
That's great. That's great. It is Busch Stadium. It is Busch Stadium. That's awesome. So, hey, back to back, thinking of stadiums, now I have to ask, other than the teams that you were on, Cincinnati, even, Chicago, Yankees, Mets, do you have a favorite ballpark to play in?
Yeah, it's the two oldest ones, and I'll give you guys a guess. What are the two oldest ones right now?
Wrigley and Boston.
I was going to say Wrigley and Fenway.
Yeah, Wrigley and Fenway, man. I hit 4 home runs in Fenway, and all of them landed in the cheap seats over the wall. It was unbelievable. I thought, I'm waiting. I'm like, I'm going to crush one over and pimp it. Every single one I had to run out. I thought it was the coolest thing. But Wrigley Field was probably Mecca for me just because the ivy, the wind, and the fans and the accordions playing and the music. That was so much fun to play in, and I hit a couple on the streets there. And the guy threw back my 200th home run, which was great, and I'm running around the bases. I'm like, make sure we get that ball. Usually they throw back a bad ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the same exact ball, put in my pocket after the game. I said, all right, I don't have to do much for these fans. And I remember people tweeting online saying, what an idiot. He could have got something for that 200th home run. It was perfect.
That's great.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. I don't jump in often, but I got to say one thing. I met your father at Fenway.
Oh wow!
And I'm not a baseball guy, but Fenway. I told Mike, Fenway made me like baseball. Just the atmosphere, the history, and whatnot. It was awesome. And we were interviewing, fans out front of the stadium. Ran into your dad. We interviewed your father out there, and I lost the footage. And I will never live that. I will never live that down because it was like one of the first actually was the first famous person we met and interviewed was your father, and we were like, "Oh, we got this great interview when we first started." And
we were so pumped that we met your dad, and we recognized him because my wife went to school.
So tall,
Tom's River South.
Yes. Oh, she did.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, that's my principal."
Oh my God! Yeah, that's so funny, man. Yeah, he's 6'8", sitting in Fenway, and his knees are up to his chest. He can't. I think Fenway, you sit there and the game's over here, so he's like, you know what I'm talking about? The seats aren't looking directly towards home plate.
It's definitely you're there to watch a game, but you're in there packed in. I don't know. Yeah, people were 4 feet tall like back in the day or something because I don't know how they all exactly. But so speaking of motivating and all this other stuff, you coined the nickname for Pete Alonso, the polar bear.
Yes, I did. Yep.
From my understanding is he at first wasn't really keen on it. He wanted to be Pistol Pete, but you don't get to pick your own nickname.
No, you don't get to pick your own nickname. No. He basically was in the locker room. I said, listen, I want the young guy here that's supposed to be the big dog. I want him next to me in the locker room. And no, I wasn't trying to be, the veteran needs this guy and that. So some reporters are being idiots, but I want him next to me because I want to hear him talk. This is New York. This ain't St. Louis or, wherever, Kansas City. I want to hear him talk when he does an interview. I want him to understand what he should say and what he shouldn't say. And the one time they came over, he was sitting there and he like untying his shoes. They're like, Pete, you ready? And he kind of like got up like this with his arms up. I'm like, damn, look at that polar bear. And he looked at me, started laughing. I said, that's it. I said, there you are. You're going to be called the polar bear. And I haven't seen any royalties yet. So I'm going to have to call this one up. And, he's making all these shirts and everything else. But no, good for him. And he turned out to be a really good one. I think New York is taking him with open arms, and home run derby champ twice now. And I couldn't be more proud of him because he's the epitome of a really good person on and off the field.
So you're a home run derby champ too.
Yes.
Two questions I have about that. One, those balls are juiced, right?
They're unbelievable, man. It's crazy. Listen, I'll tell you a story. So I took a regular ball in baseball and kind of, like you do before a basketball game, you bounce it up like a referee bounces. And I'm telling you, it was like this. Like the level. But then the other thing was in between, which have you guys ever been to a home run derby before?
No.
So in between, they bring out a softball player. And now they bring out these softballs. Now listen, they put these softballs in the freezer overnight now. Now we're talking about ice balls, okay? So listen, they flip it underhand, and you see this guy, he's like licking his chops like in Major League, and he's like, boom. And these guys are hitting the scoreboard in San Diego in Petco Park. And I see people trying to catch these, and I'm telling you right now, I look to my right, and I forget who was next to me, maybe Jose Abreu at the time, like, that guy just broke his hand. I don't care what you say. His arm is either going to fall off if you're trying to catch that. These things were so iced up. It was like hitting golf balls. It was unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
No way.
Hitting the scoreboard with a softball and a metal bat, like halfway up the scoreboard. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah. And those bats are juiced, too. All those slow pitch leagues, they pay like.
And they know how to hit, bro. They get up and there's like, they're chopping a tree and they hit it. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this thing. And they were hitting them farther than Trumbo, than Stanton. I mean, it was crazy.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, your workout regimen is baseball, from what I understand. Like, you don't really lift weights, stuff like that. These guys have they're just meatheads, just hacking away.
Yeah.
But
it's just unbelievable to watch. And yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a big lifter, but now, I lift in the off season, but I'll do like once or, like 3 or 4 times a month. I was a guy that I wanted as loose as possible up here. I didn't want any strain up there. And if I'm not lifting every other day, what are you going to be? You're going to be sore after you lift. So it's like, all right, I'll do some band work and that stuff. This power doesn't go away. You know what I mean? The hands and the wrist. And that's where I got all my power from. I'm off balance. All right, I got to flick it out and that's where I got my power from.
And you may have just kind of publicly released that secret because you see so many players now, and we talk about this all the time, week to week, with these quad and hamstring strains and your upper body injuries, and we're saying like you have a trainer on your team. You have possibly the best care you can get, and you have these reoccurring injuries, and you stayed relatively healthy throughout your entire career with one or, I think you had one hamstring injury that really took you out.
That's just old bones. That's just me getting old. No, but you make a good point. I brought this up numerous times with people. I've seen guys before games, they're doing power lifts. I've seen guys get on the bench and try to dominate in here, then have pec pump. Like, I get it. I like lifting, but I'm old school. They say it's old school because I'm like the only one that when I did lift, it was when the game was over. So why? And there's a reason why I did it after the game, because I'm tired for one, and for two, if we have to play extra inning games, let me try and build that muscle up and understand. And then the next day, number 3, I get to sleep it off. It's not like I'm lifting to go dominate another game. No, I'm lifting to go home and have a beer or two. You know what I mean? And then sleep it off. So. It's very. I don't get it. I understand you have to lift. I love that about players. I mean, I'll give you an example. A guy, Marlon Bird, he used to do Turkish get-ups, like 100 pounds, but he was a freakazoid, So it's like there was guys that would used to, dominate lifts, and I'm like, bro, you got BP in an hour. And I'm like, you're not sore? Like, no, I'll be all right. I'm like, dude. Next thing you know, a hammy. a quad, an oblique, whatever. But it's it has something. It has to have something to do with it for sure.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Now, I want to just, before Mike jumps in with, because I know he's got so much more, I wanted to jump in, but another guy on our network, his name's Jamal. He's a firefighter. He loves these interviews. He normally helps produce with Ty. He always has the same question that he asks everybody. We asked A-Rod, we asked Doc, we've asked actors that we've had before on our show. Like Donnie, what's his name?
Donnie Stevenson.
Donnie Stevenson. Brett Azar. Yeah. So it's a big question. He'd be so mad if I didn't ask it, but we have to ask you: pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes, as you can see in the back.
And we knew you were going to say this. Now, second question, we have to bring this up. What's going on here? Why do you eat your pancakes from the middle?
No. So this is the first time I've ever done that. Now hear me out.
Okay.
So where am I? I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. And these pancakes, if this is the plate, the pancakes were going outside the plate. I told myself, I'm not going to eat the whole thing because they were huge. So I'm like, why not get to the best parts of the pancake? So I basically dug through the inside, got the mushy parts. Say what's up, Mike.
Hey, buddy.
I got to the mushiest and best parts, like a Cinnabon. If I decided I only want little parts of the Cinnabon, I'm just going to start from the middle and go out. And that was the only time I did that, and there was money, and I put it on. And I didn't think I was going to get so much backlash, and it was unbelievable.
Everybody I showed this to in our network was like, he's a serial killer.
There's no way.
Listen. There's a method to my madness, so no serial killer.
At least it's out there and it's now explained for everybody. That was tough. It was a tough thing to look at, but I'm glad I got an actual answer here.
Really quick, Rutgers, right? You're RU alum. Now, that obviously is the right move back then for you, right? Because you were thinking about being a teacher, right? Or
sure. Well, I got drafted by the Rockies, and it first came down to either Clemson or Rutgers. And I'm like, listen, they got 4 other infielders coming. They want this Yankee coming down there, and I think they're going to rather choose the guy from down south than me. So I went to Rutgers. It was a great choice because Fred Hill, who passed away a couple of years ago, dominant coach. I was going to get the same looks, and I got drafted by the Rockies in the 36th round, 38th round, and they said, "Oh, we'll call you back if we got money." They never called back, so it worked out perfect.
Yeah. So now, imagine how much money you would have made, and these athletes can make that. And
unbelievable. I feel like there's a lot of points in baseball where I got screwed over, and that's definitely one of them for me. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, I could have made over $2 more million just on my signing bonus right now, and it would have been unbelievable. But that's the way. I'm glad these kids are getting as much as possible. They all deserve it. So,
and that's what I was going to ask, what your stance was on it, because for years it's always been, and we understand that these businesses like colleges need to turn a profit, but especially on the football side of life, now on baseball and the more popular sports, it just really seemed like those players were getting the raw end of everything. So.
Yeah, and you know what? They deserve it too, because guess what? They're going to be making a lot more money for these major league teams when they get older, and especially the top picks as well. So, the more money these kids and guys can make, the better for them. And I think that goes for any job, to be honest with you.
Not to add salt to the wound, but did they also, when you won the Derby, they didn't give away $1 million, did they?
Oh, I got $100,000. So I think I got $64,000 after taxes.
Oh.
And then I gave a bunch to both my brothers because they were there helping. So, and my parents as well. And I didn't really have much to say after that.
So really
I'm a giver.
Oh man, that's great. That really is. But before we let you go, because we know you're a busy guy, but my partner here told me this crazy story, and I want to hear it from you. If at all true, you saved somebody's life once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In Pittsburgh.
So what it was? They were choking. Did I hear that right?
Yeah. So Ryan Ludwig, really good baseball player. He kept telling me, "I want to take you out. I want to take you out." I said, "Well, let's do it in Pittsburgh after a day game." So we go to Capitol Grill, have a steak. We're at the bar, nobody there. And we're talking, so he's sitting here, I'm going here, and then behind him, there's a guy with his wife. He's a bigger guy, real big guy, and I'm listening to him talk, and I see the guy going like this. He's like choking. So next thing you know, I'm like, Ryan, hold on 1 second, and he's still telling me the story. I'm like, hold on, man, and I see two waitresses on each side of him. So this is how big this guy is.
Yeah.
So two waitresses are trying to give him the Heimlich on each side, and there's nothing they can do. They're not getting to the windpipe, getting their hands under the sternum. So I'm like, dude, that guy's choking. So I just darted over there. I said, ladies, get out of the way. So I'm like right here. So I gave him two Heimlich pumps and went, whoom, whoom. And like you think when you do that, it's like Bugs Bunny, like the food's going to projectile.
Yeah.
It didn't. He kind of got it out. And I'm telling you, it was a monster bite. And 3/4 of it was fat on the steak. Oh, so listen. So I guess the waitress like, here, take some water. So the guy's got mucus and all this stuff on his hands. Gives him the glass of water, just slips right out of his hand. I'm like, lady, what are you doing? I'm like, pour it down his mouth or something. Screaming through his glass everywhere. People are slipping. I'm like, bud, don't move. I'm holding him. I'm like this, holding this guy, this monster. I'm pushing him like towards and he finally sits down. He goes, listen. He said, he's breathing heavy. Thank you so much. His wife is crying tears. And I'm like, man, I'm just glad I can help, whatever. He goes, I'm pay for your meal, this and that. I'm like, no, I don't need any of that. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. Thank you so much. I'm like, okay, whatever. But he goes back, and I don't know how you can eat after that. Well, he goes back and takes another sliver, and it was the size of my cell phone again. And I'm like, I'm like, thanks for dinner. I'm out of here. I'm like, dude, it was unbelievable. He went back eating. How do you eat after that?
Oh, he knew you were there to save him again. He's like, this guy's here. All right.
I was drenched in sweat. It was terrible.
Did he eat the bite though that he coughed up? I want to know that.
Oh no. That's a good question. I don't think he did, but he murdered another piece, and I'm like, oh my God. I look at Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, I'll meet you back in the hotel. He's dying laughing. I'm like, this is insane. Go back with me, but I'm glad I could have helped him. That was a good one. And I actually got an award from, let me ask you guys a question. When do you think the Heimlich maneuver was invented? Like when it was first called the Heimlich maneuver?
Well, I should know that.
What year?
German.
No,
right?
I teach CPR. I should know the answer to this question. Oh my! I'm going to embarrass myself now because it was the Heimlich was a doctor, the one that invented that sort of thrust.
Yeah, Dr. Henry Heimlich.
I
mean, what a name. It couldn't even be like Johnny Heimlich, Henry Heimlich.
Of course. I'm going to say this is probably so wrong. Probably like 1937. It wasn't. I don't think.
How about you?
Mike. I'll go. The company I work for was 1909, so I'll go with that. But
see, and that's what I said. I said 1909. 1973. It was the Henry Heimlich maneuver.
That's what people were just dying. I flipped it.
Yeah. I was like 1847. Like I thought this was invented years ago, and they're like, no, it's 1973. I'm like, okay, so people, what were they calling it back? Or they never even knew about it. What did they do back in the day?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That dude would have just been toasted.
Oh my God!
What do you do? And everybody's like, "What? What do you want?" What do you punch him? Like I don't know what you do. But
72, everybody was choking.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The guy was still alive, and he presented me the award. He was really old, but yeah. Long story short, it was crazy.
That's great.
That is nuts.
What a fortunate story, but oh my God!
Very fortunate.
You've saved lives, but you've also changed people's lives for the better. And
I like that. That's a good quote to use today. We can save lives, but you also change. All right, I'm going to use that one.
Get it on a T-shirt. Have Pete sell it.
Put a polar bear in the background.
Yeah. So April 2013, you hit a home run for an honorary bat boy, Teddy Kramer. A 19-year-old child with Down syndrome. And honestly, I still, when I watch it, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. And it just speaks to your character and, everything you're doing with the beer that you did for the Tom's River Field of Dreams. You just you're an amazing guy when it comes to that type of stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I've been very fortunate. So I actually first started out helping out kids with special needs. I was called Team Randy in high school. One of my best friend's dad would always bring them to water parks or to places where they're not usually going. And I fell in love with them. I did. I fell in love with kids with special needs, and they're always so happy. And that's the biggest thing. You look at these kids, and they don't get to do the same things we do, but whenever you see them, there's a smile on their face. Like, man, why can't we all kind of be like this every day in and day out? And I grown to flock towards those kids and love hanging out with them. And a guy that I know very well started the Tom's River Field of Dreams. Christian Kane, his son got in a car accident, and he can't do the things as well. So it's coming out in late October. We're finally finishing it up, and we're gonna have a nice big baseball field for kids to play at. There's other things for kids to do. Plenty of things with like a park, and everything is made for kids that are in wheelchairs and need wheel accessibility to play on. And we're gonna have a good time with it. And these kids deserve it all. And that kind of stuff is near and dear to my heart. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. And Todd, just for those that want to help and that are listening, what's the best way to do that for the field?
Yeah, go to Tom's River Field of Dreams I think it's trfieldofdreams.com or tomsriverfieldofdreams.com. And there's something on the bottom there of the website you can put money towards. We have enough for this one, but I think they're trying to do another one. So all the money goes to the kids and for them to have a fun life. So it's pretty unique.
That's great.
This beer was delicious, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. And is there any plans for any other versions?
Yeah, when it gets colder, I think we're going to have an IPA or one of the darker beers. It was awesome. Whatchamacallit, the Tom's River Brewery did a really good job. We tried 5 or 6 different taste tries. I felt like I knew what I was doing, which I didn't, but it was pretty unique, and it sold out within the first day. And they should have made more, but they eventually did, and it sold out again. And they kind of slowed down with it. They didn't make any more. I guess it takes a couple months to get more, get everything brewed up. So we'll be in the works of that once the summer's over.
That's great.
So thanks to technology, we got a decent tour of your house. There's one part we didn't get to see is your batting cages.
Oh, yeah.
It's so insane.
It is. We just had a party there last night for my goddaughter who just turned 2 because it rained. So we were playing kickball in there, and we were crushing the kids. We were playing tackle football and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's unique. It's going to be used for a lot of different things, even not just baseball. And my son getting ready to go, but he's got his teams in there, and we've been dominating ever since.
Nice. Awesome. Nice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We don't want to take up any more. You're the best hometown hero from New Jersey, Todd Frazier, the Todd father. Thanks a lot, man. Tell your nephew good luck, and hopefully we'll be watching. We'll definitely be watching.
Yeah, I'm driving in an hour and a half. I'll be up there for tomorrow's game at 3:00. So let's go Tom's River again. Let's go. Legacy lives on, baby.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to The Divide with Mike and